If you're a Kevin Hart fan, you're going to get excited because this is Monopoly. There's been a Monopoly movie in the works forever, as far back as Ridley Scott at one point was attached to direct a movie about the all-time classic Parker Brothers game that most people play, get halfway through, then decide they don't feel like playing Monopoly anymore. Now we have a movie confirmed, and that is going to be directed by Tim Story. He's reteaming with Kevin Hart, who's going to star in the film. No logline. We don't have a writer yet, but we know that Kevin Hart is going to be in it. We know that Kevin Hart, despite recent foibles with the Oscars, amongst other things, he is a bankable star, and Monopoly seems to be a big franchise that you can really sink your teeth into. Could be a fun story, could be something kind of bland, but maybe they do something great with it. Claire, do you have any faith in Kevin Hart starring in a Monopoly movie?
John's laughing because, like, as you're talking, I was like the pain in my eyes.
You look like somebody who has been playing Monopoly for 3 hours, and like you don't trust the banker. You just want to get done with the game.
Hey, Mark, I like Monopoly like the next woman here, but hey, I like a board game. Don't get me wrong. I get like films like Cluedo, or you guys say Clue here, I guess. I get that, but I mean, I don't understand this Monopoly movie. So what I was envisioning when I first read this was a giant CGI dog and hat. Just like that, I would watch that movie. Giant CGI dog and hat pounding through the city
in a live-action city.
Yeah, and
CGI
Kevin Hart
dog.
just being Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
and trying to desperately pass go. Well, can they make it? Who knows? Who knows?
He wants to collect that $200, and you know he does a pretty good job voicing the bunny in The Secret Life of Pets. The sequel comes out this summer. So, Roka, there was a previous version of this movie, and that project was centered around a young man from Baltic Avenue, which is a very modest part of the game board, who eventually is going to move his way up to maybe getting Park Place or Broadway or one of those things. So is that the way we go? I mean, do we go around the board game? How literally do you take the Monopoly movie?
Yeah, if I don't see Reading Railroad have something to do with this movie, or B&O, all those places.
$15 in a beauty contest.
That's right. That's right. The chance, all that stuff. You got to have it all play out. Get out of jail free card. It's all got to come into play. This, I wonder what they're going to do with this, because you're right. The previous logline was about a guy from Baltic Avenue trying to ascend the status ladder there. Will this be the same thing with Kevin, or will Kevin be like you were kind of describing, Claire, like kind of like he suddenly discovers he's in the Monopoly board game and he's got to figure out this world of Monopoly while being attacked by these objects and trying to figure it all out. Who knows? But Tim Story, I mean, like, their combination has yielded some incredible results. From what I was reading, his last 7 movies with Kevin Hart have debuted at #1 in the box office, whether they be the stand-ups or actual live-action films. So that's incredible. And so to me, that you got to go with this. And listen, Kevin Hart played this thing what could have probably sunk most actors or stars. He played this thing right in a certain way that worked out for him to his advantage. You know, the controversy was strong. He came back, did a press tour, Ellen DeGeneres interview. He took the hits, and then the upside came out and made $18 million, $17 million. And now he's bankable again. Now we can start releasing stories about Kevin Hart. Now we can start handing him movies and start talking about it more, and we move past this controversy. Good or bad, you have to note how he handled this.
And I think that speaks to the larger question, is Kevin Hart just an unstoppable force right now in the world of entertainment, where controversy isn't necessarily going to sink him? Where, I mean, I don't think that this Oscars controversy should have been anything to ruin a career, but it certainly was interesting the way that he actually embraced it, and then he went on talk shows to promote that. And then also, by the way, I have The Upside coming out. And also, by the way, when you look at the recent box office movies he's had, been a lot of success in there. Now, he's been the co-star to people like The Rock. He's been the star of the movie. He's teamed up with Tiffany Haddish recently. He's done a stand-up movie, made $20 million at the box office. That's incredible. So, Claire, do you look at Kevin Hart as being an unstoppable force in the world of entertainment right now?
It seems like, I mean, it does seem like it. I mean, I like a Kevin Hart movie like the next person. He's fine. I'm not a big fan, and I think he did handle the controversy very well. I think we definitely have to, people have to be accountable for what they do and what they say, but at the same time, there's to be some logic. There's levels. How bad did he murder someone? No. Okay, you know, so, and he said sorry, you know, and that's fine. So I'm glad that he's been forgiven and everything. It shows that there's a bit of logic behind it, and people aren't just like pitchforks. But yeah, I think he is. I absolutely, definitely think he is. I'm just not the hugest fan of Kevin Hart, and no offense to fans of this potential movie, No.
Well, see, here's the thing is that the ace in the hole that I always think Kevin Hart has, that you can be someone like Claire and you can say he's just not my cup of tea.
Right.
I think everyone gives him the credibility of being a funny person.
Yes.
So when he shows up on screen, maybe not in a starring role, maybe he's just voicing a bunny, you laugh. You think he's funny. So if you take a built-in fan base that he does have, that are people who will go see any comedy, they're big Kevin Hart fans, whatever it may be, you add that to people who want to see a movie that looks funny. So now all of a sudden, if Will Ferrell's in the movie or if The Rock is in the movie, now it adds exponentially. So I think that's why he is just such a force right now, why his name brings so much weight with it, is because Kevin Hart is acknowledged as a good comedic actor who can bring a lot of laughs. Even if you don't want to go see him in the movie the most, you're going to go see his movie.
Yeah, it's rare when you watch a Kevin Hart movie and you don't laugh at his stuff. His timing is so good. No matter how good the movie overall is, his timing is really on point. And with multiple different actors and actresses who maybe aren't necessarily comedians right off the bat, he plays with them. He works with them. The chemistry is there. Like what was The Wedding Ringer or the whatever that was. I actually enjoyed that movie. It was a nice. You could put it on a Saturday afternoon and watch it while you're hanging out doing other things and enjoy the movie just fine.
The Wedding Ringer. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Kevin does a great job with those kinds of movies. And you know, I don't know if I'm making the right comparison. I don't want to get raked over the coals with this, but you know, Tyler Perry came out, had all these films, and he had a rabid fan base, and people followed him into whatever he did. Kevin has developed that. People have to start looking that the black or African American audience is there for their people. They want to respect them. They want to go, and they want to show that they are a financial force and an arts force that they'll support if you make movies for them. And so we saw this with Black Panther, and we certainly see this with Kevin Hart consistently, and that's a good thing.
See, I see him I don't see him as a Tyler Perry version at all. I just see him as a comic that came out where whether it's an Eddie Murphy or it's a Robin Williams, and I'm not even comparing them stylistically or as far as talent goes, but if you have a stand-up rocket to success and get to films, people find that electric for whatever reason. Same thing with Jim Carrey, and again, you get to that point where people are curious as to what you may not be their cup of tea, but you're going to be interested in what they're doing even if you don't want to see it. There's plenty of people who have not seen the upside, but they're aware of it now. And a primary reason for that is because Kevin Hart is in the movie. Yeah, so when you go with a Monopoly movie, people know the Monopoly brand. They know Kevin Hart. This could do very well.
And I would say he's more consistent than anyone you've named. And that's something to think about. Financially, every other comic you've named, he's more consistently successful and has been doing it for longer than the other ones. Does he have the spikes like Jim Carrey or Eddie Murphy? Maybe not. But his consistency is something to admire.
Board games. Movies. What's the board game movie? I think Clue is an all-time. Yeah, I'm going to say the C word, John. It's a classic movie.
I don't think you understand what that word means.
No.
Oh, Claire,
and
treat
because,
yourself.
like, it's because it's a board game movie. I'm like, it's a board game movie. Like, what about Mousetrap? I want to see Mousetrap as a board game.
Was there a Mousetrap?
Yeah, Mousetrap. Let's get Mousetrap made. Let's get
negotiations. There wasn't a movie, but there had been talk about making one. Yes.
Maybe I'm confusing that with Rat Race, starring Whoopi Goldberg, Rowan Atkinson, amongst others. I would be in for a
Mousetrap. What was the Operation
movie.
Game? Operation. That could be a horror. That could be great.
Would definitely be a horror movie.
So if you want to make Operation or Mousetrap, I'm in. Definitely into the idea of Operation. Okay. Just a guy that's alive.
We can't operate. He keeps shocking us.
Just an hour and a half of people just trying to shock some rando lying there. Anyway.
I was a big fan of board games. Is the head writer of the movie Trivia Schmodown, Chris Galiski. He collects board games. He's got board games, so he has like game night all the time. And it's like, if you ever find yourself near St. Louis, hit up Chris. He's got the board game for you. We don't play board games enough.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that here at the office?
Because we've become technologically, we've moved
but
past
sometimes
it.
It's just fun to put your phone away and just focus on a board game.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it in this office. One of the most competitive offices on the planet. Let's play board games.
I'm not competitive. Claire and I just show up. We just do the show.
I think we should play board games. Like one-on-one board game. We just discuss a random film while playing the board game.
Oh, okay.
Like we've got an above shot. We can talk about board games and films. We should do it.